We had a fraudulent election, a corrupt election, and we have an illegitimate president sitting in the White House.
The fake news wants us to think that that guy got 81 million votes. Okay, alrighty. I am going to not only be the governor of Arizona for 4 years, I'm going to do 2 terms. I'm going to be your worst freaking nightmare for 8 years. And we will reform the media as well. We're going to make you guys into journalists again. So get ready. It's going to be a fun 8 years. I can't wait.
The day a lot of us have been waiting for, albeit maybe a bit passively, is here. Kari Lake has finally admitted to lying publicly and repeatedly about election fraud in Arizona. On Wednesday, Lake filed a motion admitting that she defamed Maricopa County Recorder Stephen Richer.
I told my team, let's cut right to the chase. Where did my words hurt Mr. Richer? Show me on this doll where my words hurt you. Let's go right to the damages part. And we called their bluff, and they weren't prepared for it.
Republican Stephen Richer, the Maricopa County Recorder, who oversaw Lake's loss, again, a Republican, took her to court over her repeated false claims that Richer rigged the election against her. He sued her for defamation in June last year, and Lake has been stalling on the case ever since until now. She just filed a motion for default judgment, which essentially means she is not contesting her liability. Because as we have seen time and time again when it comes to lies about election fraud, you can't defend the indefensible.
So some quick background. When Lake lost her bid for Arizona governor in 2022, she could not accept that it was just because the people of Arizona didn't want her as their governor, so she blamed the loss on Richer. She did this for 2 years. Richer then sued Lake for defamation, alleging that apart from damaging his career and reputation, she put his family at risk with her lies. The case was hinging on whether or not Lake acted with quote-unquote actual malice as she was defaming Richer. That basically means that they needed to determine whether or not Lake knew or should have known that she was lying while she was lying. In a statement, Richer said, quote, "After months of doubling down and defending their lies across Arizona, in the media, and on social media, when push came to shove, the defendants decided to completely back down and concede that their lies were just that. Lies. Because of their actions, my family and I have faced an endless barrage of threats, including calls for execution. I have lost close personal relationships, and I have had my reputation irreparably damaged. I have said from the beginning that no one is above the rule of law, and today further validates that belief. I look forward to entering the damages phase of this case." So yes, now that Lake has conceded to the charges against her, there doesn't really need to be a trial to determine whether or not she's guilty of what they said she was guilty of. So the case can now jump straight ahead to the damages phase. Richer also wrote on X, quote, "complete and total surrender on liability," meaning it was always all BS. And she just entered that into court, now onto damages. With Lake's concession, she's opting to not even attempt to defend herself in court, even though she'd been defending herself and repeating her lies loudly and publicly for years. This concession is a tacit admission that Lake knows that she doesn't have a credible defense. She knows what she did, and she knew what she was doing while she was doing it. She also knows that while repeating election lies is great MAGA PR, it doesn't hold up in a court of law. By the way, Lake is still currently running for the Arizona Senate seat, another race that she's not expected to win. Additionally, she's still holding out hope that Trump will make her his running mate in the 2024 presidential election, although even that seems very unlikely. So now that Lake has admitted to lying for years about why she lost the Arizona governor's race, as she's about to lose her Senate race, as she's about to not be Trump's running mate, what's next for Kari Lake? Well, I have no idea. And honestly, I'm just hoping that she'll fade away. Unfortunately, they hardly ever do that. And for someone as attention hungry as Kari Lake, I'm not expecting to see that from her. She has a demonstrated history of being fickle in her beliefs, having flip-flopped a few times, doing and saying whatever thing she thinks will earn her the most favor with the widest and most loyal audience. She has embraced the MAGA movement in the hopes of riding Trump's coattails to the White House, but even he seems like he can't stand her. For a woman who once may have shown some promise in the public political sphere, her credibility is now shot, and frankly, she has been a thorn in a lot of sides. Her fellow Republicans also seem fed up with her. They are still, however, funneling quite a bit of money into her senatorial campaign, but not because they like her so much. She just happens to be the candidate they got stuck with. They just want that Arizona Senate seat. Of course, the seat that's available is Kyrsten Sinema's seat. Sinema has said that she will not be running for re-election this year, but But when the people of Arizona elected Kyrsten Sinema, they thought they were getting a progressive Democrat. It seems unrealistic to think that those same voters would now choose someone like Kari Lake, a Trump sycophant and, up until yesterday, an election denier. It's possible that Kari Lake, like Trump, is hoping this loss will further ingratiate her into the MAGA community. Even if the people of Arizona don't like her, maybe she can find her place elsewhere, among people who see criminal losses as badges of honor. Maybe she conceded, or will say that she conceded, just so she could focus on her senatorial campaign. If Trump's behavior is any indicator, these people will go to their graves insisting that the lies that they know are lies are in fact true. They will never offer any evidence of support because they don't have any. But by now, they also know that their supporters don't require any supportive evidence. They'll believe anything. All right, that's it for me. If you got anything out of this, please like the video, subscribe to my channel, and please check out my podcast, Modern Context. If you missed the last episode, it was a part 1 of the story of Ireland and why it split. Part 2 is coming out very soon, and we'll talk about its possible reunification.